Today is 31st of July, Friday. We happens to be holidays. This chart is up to yesterday, Thursday. Yesterday itself we have severe sell downs with increase in volume down 43 points, close at 2529. This was attributed to the sell down in the bank stocks. This is in reactions to the news on the cap on the dividend payout. Now, mentioned previously that the markets remains range bound for quite some time, and basically blue chips are lackluster, and you have to be resolved through a breakout. In this case, break on the downside, but we have a lot of supports to contend with. The support here at 2572 is actually broken, so the next support will be at this level here at about 2489. Now the resistance will be at this pivot high here of 2707. Now let's take a look at the stocks we'll be discussing. Follow up on that. This is UG Healthcare. Now the stock actually has a very strong run up, and of course here we have a very severe sharp reaction here, a sell down, and followed by a bounce. And notice over here it actually trades sideways, so there's a build up here, and subsequently break with the extension bar. Now this is a bit unusual because usually after a price retracement like this, stock more likely to be stuck in a trend range, and we do not really expect to actually break out so soon. The fact that we trade extension bar, we got to be very careful right now. The daylight is huge, so I would prefer if the stock can continue to trade sideways with drying up in volume, and that would be give us better odds. Nevertheless, I'd like to actually see this level here of 262 to be taken out subsequently. Reverse tone. Now this stock is actually more subdued than UG Healthcare and Mantec and the like. Notice over here the run up, it consolidated very nicely and it closed up the daylight. So this is what we like to see. Any break with wide range bar and followed by a rest. Now notice actually this rest itself trades small body, lower volume. This is healthy. Again, if you can trade sideways, close up the daylight, right, that would be generally nice, and you eventually look for a break above this high here of 380. Notice the moving average are in orders and nicely spaced up. Top gloves. After the run-ups, begin to trade small bar, losing its momentum. Notice over here the volume also lower. Currently we have a small dipper setup. Bar high here is at 885. Let's take a look at Mantec. This is by far the best performing stock this year in terms of percentage gain. Notice this is what I mean by a sharp collapse in price, and usually tend to trade sideways, very much like what we have seen here. Right, but right now it's actually attempting at this resistance here. If you can pull back from here, that'll be good, and eventually take a short at this recent high here of 965. Asian Healthcare. Here we have a gap up. Now this stock actually is non-persistent in the past. It's just that right now we have this move. I would like to actually see how it actually turn out. This will be less preferred. If you take a look at the charts, it's pretty non-consistent. Nevertheless, over here we have a series of sideways bar. We'd like to actually see what happens when you actually eventually test this high here of 26 cents. Now if you actually break out convincingly, we still can take the trade, but you have to be mindful of this overhead resistance right here. So notice actually in the past year we have very high volume at this level. So when you approach this level here at about 30 cents, you got to be careful. Kitchen Culture. Now over here we have a very nice contraction breakout. Notice the break itself, it's wide range bar with good volume. Managed to take out this resistance and followed by pullback. Of course, these 3 days actually hot. Here we have a small dipper and actually broke out with increased volume. Again, you have missed the trade. Look for pullback and look for new setups to go long. Now let's turn our attention to some of the tech stocks. This is AAM. Here, after a period of consolidation, we have very nice break. Unfortunately, there were news relating to Intel, and the stock actually reacted with a gap down. There's this attempt to close the gap. Okay, now if this gap is effectively closed, that would thus present us an opportunity to look for a break above this high here of 381. Franken. If you take a look at Franken's, over here we have a very nice small dipper breakout, a raise up, a series of bull bar. We're trading a doji with slightly lower volume. Daylight is also quite huge, likely to pull back. During a pullback, look for setups to go long. Now this stock is currently trading all-time high like AAM.